jerk.
So grab your foam roller, target 3 to 5 areas. No need to spend more than 2 minutes doing this. Like we talked about, we're gonna work on the T-spine, okay? So the upper and mid back, just as I'm doing here, just nice and smooth, making some vertical passes with the foam roller. Remember, you can always do the thoracic extension. So hips down, bend knee back over the foam roller, and just coming back to start. Always good to spin the spine in multiple directions. So I like to roll over and get in my lats a little bit. So the foam roller's below my armpit, and I'm just kind of bending my rib cage sideways. And then when I'm ready to target my low back, I come into a figure 4 position, hips on the ground, figure 4, so I cross one ankle across the opposite knee, and then I just kind of roll out that side of my low back. So I'm rotated over into my right forearm, targeting my QL low back muscles. Cool, and then I'll switch. And really guys, pre-round, there's no need to spend more than about 20 seconds. Great, so I've done my back. I'm gonna flip over, and I'm gonna target my quadriceps. So you can do both legs at one time, up and down. I like to sort of isolate one leg, okay? So I'll take one leg off the foam roller, kind of wag the tail, doing some internal, external rotation. You can roll over laterally and get some of that IT band. And then the last thing I like to do with the foam roller is just kind of get my calves. So very relaxed, butt down, working the calves out, loosening up the fascia. All right. Now for a couple of you, we really talked about paying attention to the bottom of our feet. So the only thing I missed, before you come to the ground, you might want to start with some plantar fascia work. So you can use a foam roller, a tennis ball, but just kind of put some pressure down into the arch of your foot. Find some spots that are achy and stay there, and maybe spend 20 or 30 seconds on each. All right guys, so we've addressed the soft tissue, and now we're ready to move into some mobility work. In the golf swing, in life, in the car, at a desk, we're always in this hinged position, okay? This begins to restrict the psoas muscles, the muscles in our hip flexors, right? So we want to keep the spine healthy. We need to bend it in all directions. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to come down onto your stomach into a prone position, and we're going to do prone press ups. So tops of my feet are flat on the floor. Elbows are directly under my shoulders, okay? Now I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, and I'm gonna push out of the floor, straightening my arms, and I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna open up through the front of my neck and my throat. Now if your shoulders are in your ears, make sure you keep your neck long by creating length and allowing your shoulders to stay down, okay? Back down, right? I'm gonna take an inhale. Press out. Inhale. Prone press ups, 5 reps. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our 90-90 rotations with the elbow touch. So you can use a foam roller, you can use a half foam roller. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna place the roller or no roller under our mid back, okay? So you guys have seen me do it with the foam roller. I'm gonna show you for the sake of this video how to do it without the foam roller. But we're gonna lay flat on our back. Feet are slightly wider than hip width, and the soles of my feet are planted firmly into the ground, okay? From here, without moving my feet, I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna reach overhead with my left arm, and I'm gonna drive my right knee and my left knee down to the floor as I exhale, and rotate, rotate, rotate until my elbow touches. Good. Inhale, back through center. Feet don't move, they stay wide. Inhale, reach overhead with the right arm. Exhale, exhale, drive the left knee to touch. Left elbow, boom, and then switch. If you want to do it with a foam roller, I like this because it sort of works out some of the stress in your upper shoulders, but we're gonna go hands behind your head. Inhale, left hand overhead, exhale, rotate the right knee, right elbow, and touch the floor. Good. The key is staying active, making sure you're driving with this glute as you reach toward the floor with this trail leg knee. All right, 90-90 rotations with elbow touch. Let's do 5 there. We're gonna go into our meditative breathing, okay? We're also gonna get into a child's pose position to loosen up our hips, our quadriceps, and low back. So grab your foam roller. Knees are slightly wider than hip width. I'm gonna sit back onto my heels, okay? From here, without raising up, I'm gonna keep my hips down, and I'm just gonna take the foam roller in my fingertips and slowly start to reach out as far as I can, keeping my hips down, and I want to roll my palms up toward the sky. Good. From there, head relaxes, forehead to the floor. I'm going to take 5 inhales and 5 deep exhales, okay? I'm trying to clear my head. I'm trying to fill up into my rib cage and expand with every inhale and soften with every exhale. For those of you that may have some neck injuries or sort of, tightness in your neck, it's always good to keep a yoga block or a pillow handy. As you reach out, you can bring your forehead down to relax on top of the yoga block, and this will take the tension out of your neck. Once again, make sure you try to rotate your palms up toward the sky and stay there for 5 to 10 breaths. Okay. All right, from here, we're gonna open up through the pecs and the shoulders. You can use some sort of PVC pipe or stretch pole. A resistance band will work as well. If you're pretty open and loose, you may be able to use a golf club, but we're gonna do around the worlds, okay? So I'm gonna stand here with my PVC pipe, okay, or my band. Palms are facing toward me, the back of my hands facing away. Maintaining straight arms, I'm gonna show you the band, okay? Maintaining straight arms, I'm gonna rotate this band all the way around my head and touch the back of my hips. Good. Inhale, back and touch. We're gonna do 10 of those. Arms stay straight, shoulder blades engage. Next thing we're gonna do the adductor rocks to rotation with the toe touch, right? So try to work on stretching out the inner thighs, the adductors, and the pelvis, okay? Quadruped position, hands and knees. I'm gonna take my right foot out, foot flat on the ground, so I don't want the sole of the foot rolled up. Foot flat, gripping the ground, leg is straight. So lock that knee out. From there, you're gonna push back just slightly till you feel a stretch in your adductor. And then we're gonna roll the toes up to the sky, pull the foot back, walk both hands over to the right, and touch. This should burn, okay? Hands walk back, and I actively rotate that toe back down to the floor. Good, reset. New inhale, push back, leg straight, rotate the toe up to the sky, walk the hands over to the right, and touch. Notice how I'm maintaining a straight leg. Hands come back. So guys, we've done our mobility. That took me all of 3 minutes. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna activate the muscles, right? The first thing that we're gonna work on is our core. So working on some core activation. We're gonna do those dead bugs. So you're gonna come down onto your back, supine position, okay? And we're gonna take our rib cage and we're gonna scoop our pelvis. So a little bit of a posterior pelvic tuck, exhale, ribs go down into the floor, and I'm trying to eliminate the space, okay? So right now, I'm in this lumbar extension posture, and I've got space under my low back, but what I wanna do is I wanna drive my rib cage down, tuck my hips under, so that you can't slide anything under my back. From here, I'm gonna pull my legs up, okay? Knees are hip width apart, feet are hip width apart, and my feet are flexed. I'm in a 90-degree position. Hands straight up in the air, make fists, palm face each other. Arms are straight. Now I'm just gonna inhale and exhale. Drive deeper until you feel some tremble in your abs. Now your core is activated. From there, you're gonna maintain that for an entire minute. If this is tight or you have any tension in your neck, if your head's lifting off of the ground, we wanna put something under our head so we can relax our neck. Dead bug hold, 60. From there, while we're already on our back, we're gonna go ahead and do our glute bridges. I wanna get some adductor engagement, so we're gonna take a yoga block. You could use a foam roller. We're gonna put it between our knees. Feet are flat, knees are bent, palms are up, okay? From here, we're gonna find that core engagement again. So exhale, drive the rib cage down, tuck the pelvis, okay? Once we're there, we're gonna squeeze the yoga block, lift our hips and pause, and under control, we're gonna come back down to the floor, okay? Take a new breath. Exhale, drive the rib cage down, scoop the hips under, drive the hips up, okay? And hold. We're gonna do glute bridges for 8 reps. On the very last rep, I want you to hold for 10 seconds at the top. We're gonna go ahead and get into a half kneeling position, stretching out the hip flexors and work on some thoracic rotation. Okay, you can do this with a golf club, you can do it with a foam roller or a band. But what I wanna do, guys, is I wanna really emphasize this half kneeling position. So right here, I have a lot of arch in my low back. It's not where we want to be in any of these exercises. So remember, we're going to scoop our pelvis under, tailbone under, ribs go down, and I'm going to take my golf club or my foam roller and put some pressure down with my arms until I feel my trunk activate, right? From there, I'm going to maintain that position, okay? Feeling my glute engaged, knees over my foot, everything straight, okay? Golf club or pole into my chest. I'm going to rotate and reach both arms straight diagonally, back, inhale. Inhale, exhale, rotate, and reach. We're gonna do 8 diagonal reaches to each side. Next, we're gonna work on some lower quarter rotation, okay? Working on disassociation, being able to disassociate the lumbar spine from the thoracic spine, okay? We did this, and you can do this with a golf club on the driving range. You can do it with a foam roller. This is the last piece of our activation circuit. So I'm gonna demonstrate with a foam roller. Nice athletic position, okay? Slight pelvic tilt, okay? A little bit of a neutral spine. And we're just gonna place our hands on top of the foam roller, just light pressure, okay? From here, we're gonna work on keeping our thoracic, our upper torso stable, and we're gonna rotate our hips to the right, back to center. Rotate to the right, back to center. Try not to move my entire body. So rotate to the right, back to center. We're gonna do 15 in that direction. Okay, reset, little bit of scoot, 15 the other way, good. Working on rotating to the left, okay? We've done soft tissue, done our mobility portion, done our activation. Now we're gonna work on some strength training. So, working on structure, okay? Posture and structure. One of my favorite upper body and core control exercises are shoulder taps. So you're gonna imagine, you can use a yoga block for a visual if you want, but you're gonna imagine that you have a bowl of water on your sacrum, your low back, and you do not want your pelvis to twist and tilt side to side because you'll spill the water, all right? The best way to come into this position is hands directly under shoulders. All right, I'm gonna press firmly through the floor until I'm tall through my upper back. And I wanna get this curve out of my low back, so I'm gonna give it tuck, okay? If you can maintain this position, you're gonna lower your toes to the floor, push your heels back. We're in a tall plank position, okay? Hips are scooped, legs are straight, and very slowly, under control, I'm gonna see if I can tap one shoulder and down, and tap, and down. These are shoulder taps. We want to do 5 to 6 to each side. If this is happening, you need to widen your feet, straighten your legs more, or it's totally okay to come down to your knees, re-engage, pelvic tuck, squeeze your heels up, hamstrings engaged, press through the floor, and start from here, okay? Work your way up to where you can put those toes down and straighten your legs, okay? 5 to 6 on each side, shoulder taps. We're gonna work on scapular stability and really strengthening those postural muscles of our lower neck, upper back that keep us nice and stable, right? So one of my favorite drills to strengthen all of this is band pull apart. So you can grab a light resistance band. You're gonna start with the band at chest height, right? Be careful that as you pull it, you don't raise and you don't lower. You want to keep it level, okay? And I'm going to start. You can see how I'm slightly protracted and rounded through my upper back, okay? Because I want to see the scapula move. So protracted. Now I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together, pull the band apart and touch, pause, and I'm going to go back and start under control. New inhale. Make sure I'm sort of rounded through my upper back. Squeeze, touch, pause. These are band pull parts. Let's work 12 to 15 reps. Still in the strength block here. I'm gonna give you 2 options, right? Working on weight transfer, lateral weight shift. One exercise you can do are mini band walks. So this would just be one of these small circular tube bands. You'll place it just below your knees You want to get your hips, your feet about hip width apart with a slight pelvic tuck. Nice athletic position, just like you're holding a golf club. From here, we're taking really deliberate, controlled steps. So toes are slightly rotated in. I don't want to see external rotation. And we're going to lead with our heel and step. Lead, step, lead, step. So notice how my heel's touching. I'm transferring my weight to my left. We're going to work 10 steps this way and then 10 steps back to the right. We do not want to allow our feet to come together. We want to keep tension on the band the entire time. So 10 to my right, and then we'll go 10 to the left. I'm taking about a 6-inch step, guys. If you don't have a mini band, the other drill that you can do to work on lateral weight shift, we'll just call them Godzilla steps. So we're gonna get in that athletic position, slight pelvic tuck, squat down a little deeper, and we're just gonna step. We're gonna pick our foot up and step down. Notice how I'm transferring my weight side to side. We're gonna do 20 of these, 10 to each side. Godzilla steps. We're gonna work on our single leg balance. Remember, we want to really keep the post leg straight because we also want to work on hip extension and glute strength. You can start with a foam roller, with or without a kettlebell, but what I want you to do is start with your feet together. You're going to ground down through the floor and drive the opposite leg up into a flex position. Really make sure you're pulling those toes back towards your knee and you're straightening this leg. Don't lean back. Nice neutral spine position. You can make 2 fists and hold, okay? And we want to work 30 seconds on each side with this glute firing. If you want more of a challenge, you can slowly start to work on kettlebell switches. Notice I'm not leaning over, I'm not moving my leg. Only if you can keep this perfectly straight and strict do you advance to kettlebell switches. And pause, really slow, 4 to each side. All right, so now we've gotten through our strength portion. This is the very last bit. Don't need a ton of it, but we want to get our central nervous system firing. We want to get everything moving fast. So this is our explosive portion, right? All I need is 1 set of 5 or 6 to each side. If you want to do 2 sets, great, but 1 is plenty. So you've got options. You could use a medicine ball. You could use a kettlebell. If you don't have access, your body weight's fine, okay? One of my favorite jumping drills is just a rotational jump, okay? It sort of simulates the golf swing. We're loading the hips, exploding, using the ground, and we're having to decelerate as we catch. So 5 to each side. Arms flow, jump, and land, okay? The other way, jump, and land, okay? Notice how my arms are going diagonal as I load this trail hip and land, okay? Another option. Any sort of medicine ball slam. So if you have joint issues, I highly recommend doing this, just a basic overhead slam. Up, hard as you can, is an option. Another good option, okay, if you want to work on hip stability, split lunge position, nice and stable, okay, and we're going to rotate and slam. Rotate and slam. So from that angle, it's going to look like this. Really driving this heel down, keeping this leg nice and long, keeping that trail heel high. Rotate my torso, slam, okay? Another thing we didn't go over, but I'm a big fan of kettlebell swings because it really works on the hip load, okay, which is really important in the golf swing or any sports. You got a kettlebell, push it back, snapping the hips, okay? 20 reps. I want to give you guys a little bonus piece. So we talked a lot about post-round stretching, things to do at night just to allow the body to relax and reset. Love these bolsters, okay? They're here in the yoga room at your fitness center, but you can also use a foam roller or you can use a big pillow. You don't have to use anything, but I really want to work on just relaxing. So this is where you let everything turn off. So I love doing some thoracic extension where I sit here. I'm going to bring the bolster all the way to touch my lower back tailbone. I just want you to relax back over, neck long, palms are up, close your eyes, and breathe for a minute, okay? All right,